Hello, ladies.
Hi,
Hi.
Auntie.
Welcome to episode 19 of Auntie Listen. And we're going to start with our quote. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who's done not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And that was by Nelson Mandela. What do you guys think of the quote?
I like it because I don't like having fears, but I do. So anything that speaks over them, beyond them, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
It reminds me of a Phyllis say.
Oh.
So, Miss Bri, I have this thing that I do on social media called Phyllis say, and it's quotes that my grandma used to quote when we was growing up, and some of them are all of them are very interesting, but um Auntie Janisha, you actually just highlighted that one not too long ago, and she would say they killed can't and they beat the H out of couldn't, so don't say it. So we wasn't allowed to say the word can't. We wasn't allowed to say couldn't, and it's kind of it reflects exactly what he was saying. What is there to fear? What is there to fear? Even if they say you can't do it, but who said that you couldn't do it?
Right. So, okay, Auntie Marva, we're going to turn it over to you for announcements.
Okay, so announcing we do have a guest with us today. Everyone, welcome Miss Bri Campino.
Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
Auntie Brie. She's
Auntie
Auntie
Bri.
Bree. Yes.
Auntie Bri will be sitting in with us, and she will be sharing some of her thoughts and right along with the rest of us on some of the topics that we'll be discussing this evening. Don't forget, we would like for you to like, subscribe, comment, and share on all of our platforms. You can find us on YouTube at Auntie Listen Podcast, IG or Instagram on Auntie Listen. You can find us X, formerly known as Twitter, on Auntie List, LIST 52888. That's Auntie List 52888. And you can find us on TikTok on Auntie Listen. And you can also follow us on Patreon at Auntie Listen. You can subscribe for early access for just a simple old $5. You will actually get our early shows cheaper than a cup of coffee from a coffee shop. So do that, and I promise you, you're going to love it. Also, you can follow our affiliate links. That way, you can get discounts on certain purchases. So you can go with Amazon, Bed Bath and Beyond, Target, Walgreens, Walmart, and The Great Discovery. And you can find that on the Great Discovery at Auntie Listen. Click the links. You'll see all of these links in the caption in our bio below. You can sign up for free. You can get paid classes, or you can upload your own course with Great Discovery. But yeah, so go there. And last but not least, do not forget our Shopify. You go to myshopify.com and search Auntie Listen and get you some Auntie Listen merch. Back to you.
Thank you, Auntie Marva.
You
Now,
are welcome.
for Awareness Month for December, we have December 1st, World's AIDS Day, and Eat a Red Apple Day. So don't forget to eat your red apple today. On the 2nd, we have Illumination Street Week, International Day of the Abomination of Slavery, and National Grief Awareness Week. On the 3rd is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. On the 5th is International Volunteers Day and also World Soil Day. On the 7th is Tree Dressing Day, International Civil Aviation, National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, National Cotton Candy Day, and from the 1st through the 7th is cones and I can't pronounce this one. Colitis Awareness Week. The 2nd through the 8th is National Hand Washing Awareness. The 4th through the 8th is Influenza National Week. The 1st through the 31st is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month, and also National Safe Toys and Gifts Month. Whew, that was a lot. So, and as Auntie Marva announced, that we have a guest today, Auntie Bri, who is my podcast mentor, and she is going to share with us all about podcasting, sponsorship, and the great discovery. So I am going to turn this time over to Auntie Bri, and if you can start with a brief introduction.
Sure. So, yep, I am Auntie Bri, or Bri Campano. I am a podcast host, producer, and coach. I am on a mission to teach the world how to podcast. I have been podcasting for about 4 years now. Been in the business, been in social media for a long time, doing a lot of things. And podcasting is fun. It's a passion of mine. And I love helping podcasters either learn how to podcast or improve their podcast, make it better, and grow their audience. So if that's something that you would like to do, I'm definitely going to make sure that there is a link in the description of this podcast so you can take my free course, which is the Podcaster's Fast Start. It's everything you need to do to learn how to podcast from A to Z. I have a lot of fun with it. I like, this is fun. I love hanging out with beautiful ladies who bring so much, and I have so much fun. I listen to this podcast. You guys are always having a good time. There's always a lot of laughter. Even when you're talking about some tough subjects, you still bring a lot of joy, a lot of information and heart to what you do. And that's what podcasting really is all about, is bringing what you're passionate about, what you want to bring to the world, and share it and have a platform to do that. So I'm glad that I'm here. I'm so lucky to be here. Destiny, Auntie Destiny knows I've had a tumultuous year in the world of podcasting in my personal life. So I started about a year ago. I started doing my free course, and I was doing it live at the time. So I was out helping people all the time. Of course, my dogs are going to bark in the background because they like to make lots of noise. Say, hi, we're here. Don't forget about us. And then I ended up joining a platform called The Great Discovery, which allowed me to put my courses on there. And so being able to do that was really great, because then I could record everything and just put it on there. And so now it's available to everyone anytime, whenever you want to hop on and take it. And everything was going really, really well until I went in to see my cardiologist, and I had a CT done. And I was actually sitting at a podcasting meeting when I got home from the hospital that day. I got home, I had a little lunch, and jumped on a call all about podcasting. And my phone rang, and it was the hospital. And they said, hey, we found something on your test. You need to get to the emergency room immediately. And I was like, okay, first of all, I didn't even answer the first time they called. I'm like, girl, I'm busy. I got things to do. I'm like, I was just with you all morning, so I'll call you back. But they kept calling me. So then I figured I'd better answer. So then they told me that, and I was like, okay, time to leave, had to go. Jumped in my car, and I found out that they had seen a tear in my aorta. So it meant that my heart could, the main veins and the muscles around my heart could rupture at any time, which would become a dissection. And most people don't survive those. So I was very, very scared and very worried. I knew I had a valve that needed replacement, but I didn't know I had a tear in my heart. And so they were like, that's it. We're going to do open heart surgery. 2 days later, I had open heart surgery. And I did okay. I made it through. Obviously, I'm still here. And Auntie Destiny, you were there, weren't you, the day I had surgery? We have a group. Our podcasters meet every Friday afternoon for what we call happy hour for podcasters. And I actually joined the meeting from my phone. I have no idea how crazy I looked, because I was in a hospital room and I was literally just a couple hours out of surgery, but I still joined the happy hour. I had gotten up, I danced a little that day. So I was up and moving right away. But it really took me for a big loop, right? Because I was out for about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was pretty crazy. Was I making any sense whatsoever?
I mean, for someone who just came out of surgery and who was on drugs, yeah, you made sense.
Right? Right. I
I was
mean,
like, that's podcast dedication right there from her
it
hospital
is.
bed. She's coming to her happy hour.
Yep, I made it. I made it to happy hour. I was pretty excited. I was actually out of the hospital within a week, like less than a week after surgery, but I was still pretty laid up for it was about 5 weeks for recovery to come back. But I had amazing support from the podcasting community and my community at the Great Discovery. My business actually took off. Everyone else was working for me and doing stuff. They were all my affiliates and promoting my business for me, which was amazing. And so even while I wasn't doing any work, I was still making money and doing well. So that was really cool. And it really showed me, you can, like how you can overcome anything. And the most miraculous thing to me was the next day after surgery, my cardiothoracic surgeon came in and he said, I will tell you what happened with your heart. He said that I had a tear in my aorta, but that somehow it had folded over on top of my heart, my aorta had. And so it had sealed it. And that was the only reason why I was still up and walking and talking before surgery. It should have killed me, but it didn't. And I had a little mini miracle of my own that I survived that and made it through and was able to get back to podcasting as soon as possible. But yeah, what kind of questions do you guys have? I mean, podcasting is such an amazing medium for just sharing your message and your goals.
Auntie
I know.
Janisha?
Well, oh, are we kicking off with my question?
Yes.
Mine is more of a I wanted to kind of wrap it up with my question because mine is what have we not asked? Because I'm aware that you have listened to some of our shows. And so, so mine is kind of like, did you have specific questions, Auntie Destiny or Auntie Marva, before she just lays into us and lets us?
Well, I guess the first question that I will ask is what every person who's thinking about a podcast always ask: How do you start? And what do you need to get started?
Sure. Great question. How do you start? You literally just hit record. The hardest thing for a podcaster, the place where they get hung up the most, in my experience that I've seen for so long, is hitting record and hearing themselves speak. So before you get buying all these crazy things and doing all these things and learning all these things, it's really a conversation that you want to have into a microphone of any kind. And I would say your phone is one of the best things to start with because everybody has one these days. And just start recording. Say, I'm going to talk for 5 minutes about any subject that you really like. It doesn't even have to be what your podcast is going to be about. And just start recording, because if you can start doing that and get used to hearing yourself and doing, like, speaking to yourself into a microphone, it really, like, that is one of the biggest hurdles podcasters have, is hitting record. I work with so many of them. They do all the planning. They're all into the artwork and all the topics they're going to talk about. And they've got all their social media channels and they're doing all these crazy things. And they're like super excited. And I'm like, have you recorded an episode yet? And they're like, no. And I'll keep bugging them. Did you record yet? No. Why are you not recording? And it's because it's a really hard thing to do. So before you put all of the pressure of, I'm going to start a podcast, just start recording yourself. Get used to that. These aren't things you're going to use. They're not things that you're going to publish as a podcast. This is just you getting used to talking into a microphone and sharing your thoughts on something. And what you will learn from that when you listen back is, first, you'll get used to how you sound. You'll learn pacing and how well you tell a story. Do you give yourself a moment to pause? Do you say a lot? A lot of people say a lot, or like, or so, like there are all these things. And what The reason that we say those things is that our brain is trying to grab the information that we need it to. So those words fill up the space and allow our brain more time to go get the words that we're looking for. So when we are paying attention to that, we will learn that just pausing for a second in between what we're saying works just as well that us saying because our brain, well, we're training our brain to get used to not saying those words. And we also just kind of get used to what is it like to share information. What sounded good? What did I like about that? What didn't I like about that? And that'll get you started on what you're doing in your podcast, because that'll give you an idea of how you speak and what your patterns are. And all the other little things, those are things that you learn as you're going along in a podcast. But before you start, that's the single most hardest thing for anyone to do is hit record. And that's why I tell people to start there.
Good job.
Thanks.
Auntie Marva?
So my question is, like I like for things to facilitate themselves. So what is some ideas that podcasters could do to say get sponsorships or find or even collaborations that could help them with some of the costs associated
Absolutely.
with the podcast?
Excellent question. Excellent question. I believe so much in the value of working in a hometown when it comes to looking for local sponsors, because if you're looking for those big sponsorship deals, I will tell you there are some basic metrics that the big companies will look for, right? So big companies look for is they want to see 1,000 downloads on one episode in the first 7 days. They will start sponsoring you when you have about on average 3,000, but they won't even look at you if you're under 1,000. That is on a single episode and within the first 7 days of release. So you release it on a Monday, you need 1,000 listens, downloads, listens within that first week, right? And so that's a lot. That's a lot for any podcaster. I don't know that many people that can do that. I know a few, but not that many. I know the people that get 1,000 an episode, but it doesn't happen in the first 7 days. So, and they pay $25 per 1,000. So if you would make $25 for one episode if you got 1,000 downloads in 1 week, which doesn't seem like a lot of money for the amount of work that you're putting into it. So shifting it from that, any kind of an affiliate deal that you can work with somebody that you can use their link and you read a host read ad is really, really good. Host read ads have a really high ROI, which is return on investment. So if a company was going to, a smaller company that doesn't have a huge marketing budget, but they want to be part of a podcast for advertising, and there are a lot of benefits to that, they could be a sponsor and say, it doesn't matter how many downloads you're getting, just like you want to have some downloads, but it doesn't have to be this like ridiculously huge number. You could say, let's do 4 episodes at $20 an episode, and I'll read your 30-second or 60-second ad on the show. And so what that does for them is a host read ad has a 72% click-through rate. So if you read an ad and you put their link in the description, 72% of listeners will click on that link and go read what it's about. And of those, that 72%, 64% will buy from that link. So that's a high ROI for them at like $25 or $20 an episode. Wow. And that's for a smaller podcast that you're just getting started. So if you're doing, an episode per week, that could be $80. That would probably cover your hosting and probably would just be like Buzzsprout or Descript or Buzzsprout or Captivate. And it would cover your Canva account, and it could cover your Descript account if you're editing in Descript. So it can cover some of those costs. And I think reaching out to hometown, so people that are around you, and because then they get to say, I'm sponsoring a podcast. So there's like, that's cred for them, right? They're like, that's cool for them. They get to say, hey, I'm part of this podcast. You can give them a certificate they can hang up in their shop, and you're giving them, a little prestige from saying, oh, they're the podcast sponsor. So there's a lot of wins with that. Recommendations on that would be no less than 4 episodes. The ROI falls off if you do less than 4 episodes, because it's just like a hit or miss. Like, one episode is just not enough to reach people. But the back end of having a host read ad is that it's embedded in your show. So it's going to be up there. It's going to be out there. It could be listened to tomorrow. It could be listened to next month. It could be listened to next year. It could be listened to 5 years from now, right? They're still going to get return on that investment many, many years out, where if they were going to run a Facebook ad, which would cost them 10,000 times more money than that, like a minimum ad spend on Facebook per month is around $750 to $1,000, which is a big marketing budget for most small businesses. And it's a hit or miss, right? They either capture people and they get seen, and then it's gone and it doesn't come back again. We're on a podcast, it lives in that episode forever, as long as that episode is out. And I always recommend mid-roll. Mid-roll is like the prime spot to be in, because a lot of times in the beginning, people will skip ads, and a lot of times at the end, people won't stick around for ads. So mid-roll, that midway point somewhere in the podcast, is going to be your best positioning for the advertiser.
And just do you know what would be a good amount? Like, how many should we do? 1, 2, or 5? Like, how many should be
in one
the
episode?
ideal?
Yeah. I would say 90 seconds of ads at one specific time is, so that could be a 60 second, which will be a higher cost, to a 30 second. It could be 2 30s and 2 15s. It's however you want to break that 90 second up, right? But when you have a longer podcast, you can put a couple of those mid rolls in, right? If you're doing an hour and a half long podcast, you could do one at the 30-minute mark and one at the 60-minute mark, and those could each be 90 seconds. So you could divide that up with however many, right? So that's an option.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
good question.
And tell us a little bit about the Great Discovery. How do you, if you have a course that you say you don't want to do a podcast, but you have something that you feel would be great for someone else, and they want to put it in a course form, how could they go about doing that on the Great Discovery?
Sure. So they would definitely want to connect with you and send them to me. Yeah, the Great Discovery is an amazing e-learning platform. We host courses on pretty much everything these days. I think we have our catalog is getting over 2,000 courses, I think, right now. And it keeps growing by the day. There's so many new courses that are coming out, and they're anything from gardening to AI to estate planning to learning Italian to, I mean, it's pretty much everything that you can imagine. And it is an amazing marketplace to find so much information. And there's a ton of free stuff on there, as well as paid courses. And what we love about it so much is it's really any course for any age, at any time, anywhere in the world. We're in over 200 countries, in any language. And I think we have over 168 languages available on the platform. So if you want to share this with a friend and they're in South America and maybe they speak Portuguese because they live in Brazil, they can get it translated into Portuguese so that they can understand it. It's all right there at their fingertips. So we make translation so easy and affordable for people to get. And it's pretty incredible. Like, I have had interpreters and native speakers listen to the translations, and it is spot on, which is amazing. I love that. That's AI technology at its finest. But it's also a really great place to put your course on because, if you're looking for that passive income, that money to keep rolling in, it is such a smart place to have it. We do a one-time fee when you join. We have an incredible special that's going on. Actually, the beginning of December is our Black Friday special. It ends, I believe, on December 2nd. But it's under $500. That's a one-time fee. And then you never have to pay to put a course on, and hosting is included, lifetime hosting. So it makes a lot more sense than a lot of the other course hosting platforms where they're going to charge you like $100 a month, every month, whether you sell anything or not. You're paying them every single month. And so with us, we don't do that. We charge a one-time fee, and then your courses can be on there. You can have as many courses as you want at all different price ranges. We allow courses from $0 up to $50,000 on our platform. So there are a wide range of courses at every different price range. And I love the Great Discovery because not only is it an amazing place for me to get my course on, but it also has such a supportive community. So if you're looking, and maybe you're not a course creator, but it's also a great place for affiliates. I have 858, I think, affiliates on my team right now that I've signed up, and they're making money just sharing courses with people. So if you're looking for like a side hustle and you want to get started for free, let me know. I can get you signed up and you can start making money. You make commission on every single sale that you make. And then if you grow a big enough team and qualify, then you can start earning team bonuses. And actually, if you get high enough, you can earn, like I do, a global revenue share. So I make a share of what the entire company makes every month that gets put in my pocket, which is really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Auntie Janisha.
Are we to my question now? Y'all done?
Yes.
All right. So as I was explaining about the guys that go in and fix the bars and the restaurants and just businesses in general, I wanted to know, after you have heard some of our shows, just give it to us straight. What are your critiques and your suggestions?
Sure.
Specifically,
I love the energy that you guys, I said this earlier, but I want to keep saying it because there is an energy, and I think that's really important. You want to make sure you bring that energy for the listeners, that the way that you guys get along and you laugh and you share things, I love. What I would suggest to you guys is watch talking over each other. Really be mindful of that. I did get some clips of you guys, recordings of you guys working on a trailer for it. And there were many times that when you all talk at the same time that I can't understand you or hear you. And that makes it really difficult for the listener, right? You always have to keep the listener in mind. So when you're talking to them, I'm going to try to get my dogs to be quiet. So I'm a horrible guest because I have background noise, and I apologize. When you're talking with each other, though, it is hard to hear you guys speak over each other. And then just learn to edit and how to shift yourselves between topics so that it keeps a really nice pace. So this comes back to my childhood. I always look at it like we would do jump rope out on the playground, right? Not jumping by ourselves, but there'd be somebody. Sometimes we do two. There's always that one, right? And you see that, and you take turns jumping, running through jumping, and then the next person would go and you run back around. There is that constant rhythm and motion, and you're always timing yourself. When can I jump in and jump for a bit and then jump out? How do I make those shifts? And that's just learning from each other, but getting that kind of a rhythm down when you are working together, especially when there's 4 of you or a lot going on, hearing each other and getting kind of used to each other. I would say watch your editing. I know that's on Auntie Destiny, so I'm talking to
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Just watch your editing and making sure it's not super cut. There's a way that you can over edit. So just be really careful. If you can put something on your computer screen or wherever it is you're recording that helps you with either the ums or the ahs or the likes, whatever it is that you feel like you say too much that you're always cutting out. I used to say, what was my word? Absolutely. That would be my comment. Every time someone, absolutely. I would say it all the time. I literally drove myself nuts listening to it back. I kept hearing myself say, why? There are so many words out there that sound so much better than saying that one all the time. And so I wrote like 5 different words on a Post-it note, and I stuck that by my camera. And so that I could look at that and find a different word, like pick something fantastic, something amazing, stupendous, phenomenal, outstanding, anything. Not absolutely. I don't know. And but it helped me, and I stopped saying it so much. Unless I think about it, and then of course I say it a million times. But I had that on there. So like little notes to yourself. If there's something that you hear yourself doing, take that Post-it note and stick it on there. If you feel like you've beat the horse to death, it's time to move on from the subject. Like you always want to keep your audience wanting more. So keep, get that opinion out there and give it, and let everyone say their piece about it, and then keep moving. What's next? What do we have next? How much time are we scheduling for this? And then we need to make sure we're moving along. And then a lot of the other stuff is on the back end of things, where you're looking at your metrics. So if you're looking at your YouTube, you can see when are people listening, when are people dropping off, what's happening at that point in time, and why are we losing them? Is that a segment that people don't really like? What are people telling you that they really like? I really like this part, and they really like that part. But they're not saying that maybe it's your favorite thing, but it's just not connecting. So my suggestion for that would be either find a new way to do it or cut it out and see if that moves things better. I know it's hard to cut out something that you've put together and that you really like, but if it's not hitting with the audience, it shouldn't be there, or it at least should be retooled and maybe done a different way, or maybe moved into earlier in the podcast or something like that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a lot. Sorry, you did ask though.
Nope.
What I asked for. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I especially like the Post-it note with the words. That's so simple. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, because they can't see what's on your screen. So I have I'll stick Post-it notes. I'll stick things. I still get people's names wrong. Mm-hmm. I call this one poor woman the wrong name 3 times in the podcast because her last name was was stuck in my brain. It was a very difficult last name. Mm-hmm. And I usually write things out phonetically so that I just can read it and I don't have to think about how to say it. So I put any of that stuff. You can stick that on your screen. No one can see it. Yeah. So, but you don't want to ruffle papers, because if you start hearing somebody ruffling through papers, the microphone will pick it up, and that's really annoying in edit. So,
yes, that makes it really hard to edit.
Yes, Destiny knows. Auntie Destiny knows all about it.
Yes, and so Auntie Bri, because I know you have to leave soon, but before you go, tell us the name of all of your trillion podcasts that you're on.
Okay. So I have Clever Conversations, which was my very first podcast. I don't do as many of those. Maybe do one a month on that podcast right now. Those are just fun conversations. I have Spill the Immunity, which we love to spill some tea. So that one is live every Thursday. I do most of my podcasts are live. I don't like to edit. I like it to be out there. I want it done and out to the masses. I also like having an audience. And I do that one live. I do Discovering Greatness, which is where we highlight and feature new courses and course creators, so you can get to know the course creators. The Homeschool Podcast, also live. And that's where we work on children's programming and resources for parents and educators in the homeschool market. So we focus on that. And then I have Love Notes, which I do with a recording artist. And we interview other people in the recording industry and talk about all kinds of things and in what it's been like being a recording artist in the last 40 years, 50 years. So, but I will bring it full circle before I go and say one of the reasons that I love doing the live broadcasts, I do at least 3 of my shows are live every single week. And I do that because of the fear, because of the overcoming things. I like the electricity that fear brings. It's very similar to just excitement and happiness. There's this energy that I get from it. So for me, it was very scary at first when I started doing it. And now I get really excited because I work harder, I feel like, and I'm more present and I'm more tuned in and really like trying to hit my marks all the time. And there is that pressure of being live with an audience, because a lot of times I have a lot of people tuning in live and asking questions, and that fear makes a better show. So I'll bring it back to your beginning quote, because I live in that fear zone and I love it. I thrive in it. So I thought that was a great quote. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
You
all
didn't
that.
mention your Survivor podcast.
I did. Build the immunity every Thursday.
That's the Survivor one. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
Gotta have my reality TV binge of the week. So we talk all about Survivor. That's right.
Yeah,
Love it.
which I still have not seen, not one episode of.
That's okay. It's not for everyone.
Well, Bri, thank you for spending this time with us and sharing about podcasting and sponsorships and the great discovery. And send me your links so that I can add them in our description so people can check out your podcast as well.
I will do that. Thank you, ladies, so very much. All the aunties have been wonderful, and you guys have been amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. And I will be listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to be our first guest.
I'm honored. Thanks so much, ladies. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
night.
You too.
Night.
Bye-bye. Auntie Janisha, we're going to turn it over to you for your Remember When.
Oh, we're there already?
Yes, we're there
So
already.
fast. That was pretty good for a first guess, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very informative.
It didn't hurt as bad. I know my question was, I was expecting.
I thought it was gonna be worse. I did think it was gonna be worse. I thought she was gonna beat us.
Yep. And with that being said, I didn't even know that we're gonna go in this direction, but this flows. So as far as Remember When, do y'all remember our show from 1 year ago? It was our 7th show, December of 2023, right? And it was a look back. And that's exactly what she just helped us to do, is look back.
Yeah.
And that show was about growth, show growth, but it was also about life changes. And as far as my part, I went back and I've been listening to our shows and listening to my part of that question, what happened over the past year or whatever. I'm doing almost nothing that I was doing at that time, except for truck driving. And it is so wild. And that brought me to the solar eclipse. Do y'all remember the solar eclipse from this year?
Yeah.
April 8th. I was reading some things before we had that eclipse, and a few people that I follow online as well, they were talking about if you were to go back 7 years, because the last one that we had of that magnitude was 7 years ago, and think about what was happening in your life at that time, how your life changed. And I counted back and I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, what they were saying, these folks that I follow, just different, various people in various realms, they all said the same thing, that it was something major, because it's all about the energy, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was for me. It was I like when I went into trucking the year before, it was just the way to take care of myself. That was going to be my career. But in 2017, the year of that eclipse, it switched, and it was a way for me to do something else. It wasn't about the trucking. And I also became a grandma, and just so many things were different. I got into a truck rollover that year. Um, that's when I got introduced really to tiny homes and the homesteading and all the stuff. So it was really drastic. So I will encourage everybody to, if you haven't done it already, if you had not heard of this, go back 7 years ago and see if major things in your life changed that's affecting your now. And then
Okay.
again, because of the eclipse, this year is supposed to be the same. Like major things this year, because of this eclipse, yes, that will be affecting you for the next cycle.
Interesting.
Yes. And then from there, I mean, I just started kind of going down a rabbit hole. So last week I saw this movie, Heretic, right? And it's starring Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher. She's young. I'd never heard of her. And another young lady, Chloe East. But Hugh Grant, many of us already know, right?
Yes.
And these young ladies, they are Mormons, and they're going around knocking on doors of people who had shown an interest. So they just really have addresses, and they're, going through. And they encounter Hugh Grant, who is determined to put people's religious faith to the test. And how that movie ties in, why my mind went there about this movie, is because are we working off of destiny or free will? That was the question.
Hmm.
Because of all the changes from 7 years ago to now, and like why I got into trucking and what it ended up being about, and just the whole thing full circle coming back around. Because here I am again trucking. And like I said, last year when we did that show, and I was talking about the stuff that I was doing, and I'm doing almost none of it now. But 7 years ago brought me to where I am, what I'm doing now, which is so wild.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I'll invite y'all to go and listen to our show, December 2023. It's show number 7, and it's called The Look Back. And
And when was the full moon?
that one from this
In
year,
April?
April 8th. Mm-hmm.
That was the day that I got my son.
Really?
That was the day that he showed up at my house.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and then keep in mind, so it's like a year surrounding the date of the eclipse. So, whatever that major change may not have happened on that day as well, this is for everybody else. Because, Martha, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you look at the energy surrounding, like, a year surrounding the day, and it was some big deals. I called my kids when I heard those podcasts, and I was thinking back, I was like, oh my gosh. And both of them had like big news, like different things that have happened. Some good, some bad, but it was still like life changing, just big stuff. So those are the things. Go back and listen to our show. And then also, if you get a moment, watch the movie Heretic. It's Heretic, and it's new. It's from this year. And it will, I don't know where your faith is, but it is stuff to think about. So
Cool.
there we go.
Cool. And so, I guess it's my turn. So for Loving Connections, we are this month, we are scheduling a romantic getaway with our partner. Doesn't have to be like off to the Netherlands. It could be somewhere close in your little area. It could be a camping trip. Doesn't have to
Ooh.
be anything extravagant. Okay, Auntie Marva, career corner.
So for career corner, I wanted to focus on more. I wanted to stay with the remote opportunities. These opportunities are all they are all remote, and they are all uh early entry level, so it doesn't require much experience, right? Um, I didn't stay within a specific industry. I kind of just looked around in several different ones, if you will. So the first one is with Wizards of the Coast. This company is a gaming company. Um, and they have a short mission at Wizards of the Coast. We connect people around the world through play and imagination. So they are looking for a game support representative. This is a temporary position. The position was only posted 5 days ago, and according to your experience, it's entry level. But if you do have some experience, it ranges from $18 an hour to $24 an hour. It is remote, it's contract, and it is customer service, and they do train. Um, the second position is with AU Claire Cooperative Health Center. This is in the medical field. The company is based out of California, but it is also remote, and this is a full-time position. It was only posted 3 days ago, and they're seeking customer focused remote live chat agents to join their customer support team. Again, it doesn't require a lot. They don't need much experience because it is early start, and they do train. The third position is with Live Nation Entertainment. That is a this is more along the lines of ticket sales for customer service ticket sales for live events. And they're looking for client support representative. This is part time. This office is they have offices around the country, but this particular office is based out of New York. However, it is still a remote position. It is part time, and the range is starts at 18.40 up to $23 an hour. Entry level does not require um, experience. However, if you have more experience, you would be able to have a higher pay. And last but not least, the final position is with Safe Flight. You know, the commercial Safe Flight repairs, Safe Flight replace. Okay, so
Yeah.
this office is located in Florida. This one has been up for about a week. But they do have a sign. They do, and it's full time, entry level, and it is somewhat commission based. So you can receive as low as 5,250 a month, up to as much as 10K a month. But it is remote, and it is a customer care representative answering taking care of their customers. So yeah, you can find the links below in the description under today's episode, and good luck, kiddos. The employment world is out there and for you to grab.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, open topics. Okay, I tried to find fun ones, but we'll see how fun they are. What would 10-year-old think of you now, Auntie Janisha?
The 10-year-old me,
Yes.
I think she'd just be proud that I was having fun in life now.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because you weren't having
Oh.
fun in life before?
No, no, not then.
No, not
It was
then.
pretty rough. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I hate adulting. Man, I would not trade my childhood. I don't want to go back there. It wasn't all bad. It's just that I love the decision, the ability to make decisions for myself now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Auntie Marva.
I I'm I'm sure. So the downside, I'm gonna give the downside first. She would probably be a slightly disappointed that that I waited so long to start believing in myself.
Okay.
Um, but nonetheless, we made it here. I spent a lot of that time believing in other people. And so, yeah, that's the downside. But the upside is she was always a fairy tale dreamer. And that is one thing that I have never lost. And against a lot of individuals that told me I should stop doing that, I never lost it. Like I'm still very, very good at daydreaming and getting lost in my daydreaming. That a lot of my daydreaming has really fully become my reality. And I
Mm.
think she would be very proud of that.
Okay.
She would probably also say that I play too much.
No, she wouldn't. She would join in because I remember that girl.
Play too much. She would. She would join.
That's funny. When I was thinking about these questions, because it's like I always want to ask the questions, but I always forget that I also have to answer the questions. And
All right, so give it to us.
so I think see, I don't know, because 10-year-old me was always in survivor mode,
Mm.
and we were always reading a book. So I think she would think that it's nice that we have developed other interests besides reading, and that we are in a safe environment where we don't have to be in survivor mode all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the next one is, do you believe everything happens for a reason? Auntie Janisha?
Oh, that goes along with mine. Do
Mm.
you remember when? See, I caught myself really pondering over that. And I've thought of it before, and sometimes I feel yes, sometimes no. I everything yes, everything happens for a reason, yes. I guess I was confusing your question with really destiny. And those two are not the same. Predestined. Yeah, no. Yes, everything happens for a reason, I'll say.
Okay.
I do believe.
Why?
Because this life, and I've been on different sides of it, like you know, following the Christian way, the godly way. I've been a pagan and a heathen over there. But it's all been the same. All of it, everything is for us to learn from. I thoroughly believe that. So as far as happening for a reason, every action has a consequence, a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
reason is that we're supposed to be learning something, regardless of what's happening. It's our reaction to it, right? So that would be the reason.
Okay.
And what we do causes something else to happen. So that would be the reason. That makes sense.
Yeah. Auntie Marva?
I absolutely do believe that. I've always believed that. Well, no, at the majority of my adulthood, I've believed that. Just a lot of signs just kind of showed me that, um, like, for instance, not taking advantage the different individuals that I run into, no matter what or what level of life they are and what title they have, big or small, just it always came back full circle. And it's like I know I remember praying, asking God, allow me not to take anything or anyone for granted a long, long time ago. And for me to respect everything and everyone in its respective light. And because of that, whenever I do meet something, even if I don't know at that very moment, when it comes back full circle as to why I was supposed to meet them, it's like I know right then and there, boom. Like, okay, that's why this happened, or that's why that happened. So yeah, I fully believe that everything happens for a reason. I do.
Yeah, I do as well. And I used to I used to think, I used to be like, oh, if I could go back in time and change just one parent, I would have a better life. But then I'm like, but if I had a better childhood, would I be a better adult?
Mm.
Because sometimes you can have a great childhood but be a bad adult. You know?
Yeah.
And so I believe that all of those experiences that I went through as a child prepared me for the adult I am today.
Okay.
So, yeah. Do you believe in reincarnation? And if so, what would you like to be in your next life? Auntie Janisha?
Um, I I don't know about reincarnation. Well, yeah, I guess it is reincarnation. It's still the same. I do firmly believe in the energy is not destroyed nor created. It's all just it just continues.
Pass from one vessel to the next. Yeah.
So yeah, so in that way, I believe in reincarnation. We're back here some kind of way. Now, as far
Mhm,
as an animal or another human or whatever, I tend to believe in the humans, maybe because of when sometimes when people have gone through under hypnosis, even though I'm coming to a deep understanding of familiar spirits, that could be what that is. But at the same time, like when people are under hypnosis, sometimes they have these whole um, lives that they can explain like in detail or speaking languages and stuff like that. It's just so wild to me. So I
Mm.
entertain those thoughts that, yeah, maybe, you know, we are coming back. Or how somebody might say, God, you remind me of, or you done research and so, or somebody still here and they are saying like, you remind me of great aunt so and so. Oh, if you could have met her, y'all are like twins, or the
Mm.
mannerisms are the same, whatever. And that might just be DNA, but at the same time, it just leaves you to wonder.
right.
But just yesterday, I just want to share about I was I was kind of annoyed about something, and I was looking up and at birds, how easy their life seems to be. And but for the first time, it hit me. I wonder if they look down at us,
Mm-hmm.
say, "Wow, they can build all these things. They
Mhm.
have hands and feet," and they might be saying how easy our lives are.
Right.
And that's not necessarily has nothing to do with reincarnation, but at the same time, the thought hit me because sometimes I've heard people say, and I've even thought it, when I next time I come back, I want to be a bird because they do seem to have a very easy life, just
Uh,
floating on the air.
yeah. So you're coming
So
back as a bird.
I don't know because it's not up to me. Yeah, still,
But
yeah.
if it were up to you, you would come back as a bird.
I think that I've not been such a horrible human being, so I would not mind doing this life again. Because I
Oh,
might get easier each time unless you're not learning lessons. Then you come back and you're just repeating things.
right.
That's kind of my thought too, as far as reincarnation. The reason why we would be coming back is to be perfected.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of thoughts.
Auntie
Yeah.
Marva.
Man, I don't know. I don't. What? What would I like to? I do. I do believe in it. Yes. But what would I be?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would really want to be anything like an insect or an animal or just because I like being a human. Like we have a lot of advantage being a human. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, it's not. I feel bad for a lot of nature. Like a lot of nature is abused and to take advantage of, or even if it's not fully taken advantage of, like per se directly at that animal, their habitats are taken advantage, and it's like they don't have no control over that. So I don't know if I would want to be like an animal or an insect or anything like that, because that's scary.
So you
Mm,
like being the colonizer.
I don't want to say I'm the
right?
colonizer because I don't have no animals. I don't have no animals. And if I was not allergic, I probably would have one. But I'm just saying, I don't, man, man.
I'm sorry, I
Mm,
was teasing.
nope.
No, no,
Because you don't want to be the abused. You
right. But I
be
definitely
the
don't want to be on the
yeah,
abuser. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Isn't that what
that's hard. That's a good one, Auntie. That is
yeah,
a good.
isn't that what Cherie called what's his name in Wakanda? Because
Yeah.
yeah, he's like that's what
What
I
I
thought
agree
about.
with that,
That's what I
but
thought about when you said that.
what I said did not fit, but I meant to say it. 'Cause, like, you don't want to be them because they don't have the control, but you want to be the one in control that's causing them to have the life that you don't want. Yeah.
Right, man.
Wow, that's an interesting place to be.
Yeah. Oh,
You care, but not that much.
I
Right?
care. I care. I just.
Oh,
Mm.
poor rabbits.
Right. She cares but not enough to be involved.
I, I want to be. I'd like to be involved, but I just because I know how evil humankind can be sometimes. I don't want to be in that place.
Right.
Oh,
I don't want to be
we get it.
there.
So you want to be the evil human? That
I
yeah.
would not be the evil human. What are you saying? What is wrong with you?
Because you don't want to be the deer. You want to be the person behind the barrel. I get it.
Man, that is not it. I would not shoot them.
Poor
Ah,
Bambi.
all I'm
Poor
saying is, if I gotta be anywhere in the chain of life, I don't want to be at the bottom.
You want to be at the top.
I mean, this is my choice. Although I
Yes.
don't control
It is your
that,
choice.
but you're asking me as of my
Yes.
choice. I don't
It's
want
your
to be
choice.
down there. Who would willingly want to be like? I pity them, and now I want to be in that pity. Oh, I don't. I learn from other people's experience. Okay, that's how I learn. I ain't trying to be down there. Not no.
So you're saying you want to be at the top of the food chain.
I'd rather be at the top of the food chain, but I also would not mind. Just like I don't think I have a bad heart. I don't think I have a bad mind. I can be, if I'm pushed, like Tupac said. But for the most part, I think I'm a pretty cool person. So coming back and experiencing this life again wouldn't be too bad. I think as long as I could keep some of the experience that I've experienced, that way I'm not starting over fresh. Cause come on, God. Like, come on now.
Now you know it doesn't work
I done
that
been
Okay,
way.
to, I
work
done been
minute.
gullible once. Don't make me
Work
do it
work minute.
again.
You know it doesn't work like that.
Don't make me be gullible twice now. Come on, man. Some gotta give.
You know you got to keep coming back until you learn for yourself not to
Man,
be
ain't nobody
gullible.
got time for that.
Oh, so you could be a fox the next time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's a
Other
slick
end of
one.
the spectrum. If you
Or a
were
hyena.
no, because they're not
No.
sly.
No.
They're yeah,
They,
they're
but they stick together.
Okay. So do
Yeah, I'd
lions.
I'd be a fox. I'd be no, they like to hunt. They like to really,
because
really hunt them lions too.
that's on the other end of the spectrum of gullible. And I want
Yeah.
that's a good theory too about how we come back. So you get
Mhm.
to experience both sides. That could be a theme. I've never heard that
Yeah.
be entertaining.
Well, I believe in it. And if I could, I would come back as a house cat. Just
Oh,
have-
they so yes. Preferably one particularly a house cat that belongs to a particular race. I'm just saying,
Because
they living it up.
yeah, because we be spoiled.
Got my own room. I ain't gotta do much, just lay in the sun. I can be stank with a funky attitude if I feel like it, and everybody understands. She's just not feeling well today.
Scratch the kids in their face.
Right, right. I can be mean to
Right.
the babies, and they gonna pop the baby.
I want some milk right out of their mouth if I suffocate them, you know. Hey,
Until you hit it on the head, you on to something there.
Yep. I'm coming back as a house cat.
You are on to something, because baby, you know what?
Look, mine is
Yeah.
spoiled. Mine is spoiled rotten. I'm like, can we change lives sometimes?
Now that I think about it, you are on to something.
So, what's one superpower you would not want, Auntie Janisha?
Ooh.
Ooh, not one. I get what is this? Venom. Okay, so my grandson the other day had venom on his shirt, and I'm just really getting to understand what a venom is. That tongue hanging out of his mouth. I don't think that that's the superpower. I don't know what he does. It's so weird. This tongue hanging. I wouldn't want to walk around with my tongue hanging out. You ask, but I just don't want to look like that with my tongue hanging out everywhere I go. That's weird. That's weird. It's a lint catcher. Nobody.
Not the lint catcher.
Wow. I don't know what to do with that one, Auntie Marva.
Superpower that I don't want.
Yeah.
Superpower that I don't want. Definitely not responsible for saving Princess Peach, because she just hard headed.
Annoying.
Who is Princess Peach?
Mario Brothers.
That
Oh.
girl was always into something. Why are you gonna be that helpless? Oh, and I just thought of one that I don't want. Marva, you still thinking, Auntie Marva?
Yeah, I'm still thinking, because I ain't, man.
Well, we can double back around to me. I don't want to take it if it's one of yours, but I just really thought about what I would not want.
What's that?
Well, absorbing people's emotions, their energies.
So
their,
you don't
their
want
strength
you
is
don't
one thing, but there are some they take on their person.
you don't want to be an empath.
And that's a real life thing too.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation with a person that I love truly, and I said, that has to be annoying. She said, she was like, really, really, Marva? I'm like, oh, because I'm like, dang, like, you can't really emotionally be there for anybody because you fully take on that emotion. Like, I would punch a squirrel. Like, who? No. No, I ain't got time to be being sad. I'm too much of a pimp to be sad like that all the time. Like, no, man. No. And I literally, like, for a split second, I felt how she feels. And I was like, oh, no deal.
She said no deal.
And it's funny because I know we're not even talking about empaths, but I've heard, since I've understood what that is, I hear a lot of people deciding that that's what they are. Like, it's a grand thing to have.
I don't want it.
I think it can be beautiful if you know how to harness it.
Yes.
But so many people just claim that that's what they are, as if I don't get it. I don't. No.
Yeah. Well, Auntie Marva, why you thinking I'm gonna say mine, and then I'll give you more time.
Okay.
I would not want telekinesis because I don't want to hear anybody else's thoughts. I don't even want to hear my own thoughts sometimes.
Really?
No, I no, I no. I don't want to walk around hearing everybody's thoughts. No.
I want it.
Uh-uh.
After
No.
invisibility, it's my second.
I'll take it.
She says she'll take it.
Sign me up, cause what? You is not finna play in my face. What? No.
Mm-mm.
We just had this conversation. I done already been gullible once. We is not going through that again. Okay, God. we, we done did this once. Okay, I ain't there no more. We are not looking back.
She
This is
said,
progress.
give me telekinesis."
How we speaking on progress, Lord. Don't play with me now.
That is funny. Did you come up with one yet, Auntie Marva?
I don't have one because I just really like it's a superpower. Like who turns down superpowers other than the one what Auntie Janisha said. Like I agree with that. I don't want to. No, I don't want your emotion. I don't because I'm too much of a gangster for that. No, no,
Right.
no.
Okay, Auntie Janisha, back to you. What was the one that you thought of?
Oh, that I said it. I wouldn't want to. And it was not even more or less a superpower. I don't imagine. I don't know any superheroes with this thing, but um, being an empath.
Yeah.
Oh, the empath. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was too much. Even just
Yeah.
being extra happy when I don't feel like it, because sometimes I don't feel like laughing. Like that's just real.
Mm.
Right.
I just want to be regular and just sit here.
No,
Right.
I want to laugh. Now that's you're okay. Weird. What?
No, not bad, but and sometimes I'm just look. It's a Capricorn thing. Sometimes we just want to sit here and look at you, not
Right. We
just
just
let.
want to sit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like watching people, and it just makes me Marva. You know how I am too. Anyway,
Yeah.
like there
Yeah.
have been times when I've gotten in trouble with people because I don't show joy for something I should be showing outward joy for, but on the inside I'm turning flips. But y'all don't see it. But that's
Yeah.
my level of joy sometimes. It's just quiet and looking at you like, really, that's awesome right there.
Yeah. That's
You just
funny.
got to know me to get it. But some people don't think she's not really happy about it. She's
Yes.
yep,
We're
that
not.
this isn't bothering her. Yeah, it's bothering me a lot. I really
Yeah.
am.
We're
Right.
just
I'm murdering you. You just don't feel it. I'm
right.
mad. Right. That's.
Yep. Totally get it. Okay, our last one. How do you like your eggs, Auntie Janisha?
um, Sometimes scrambled with cheese. And when I do it, it's scrambled hard so the cheese can get kind of crispy a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Auntie Marva.
Scrambled extra cheddar.
I like
Scrambled with extra cheddar.
she
Uh
says scrambled with extra cheddar. I like I
huh.
like scrambled eggs, but I like poached eggs more.
Ew.
Sorry. That, yeah.
Making that like you're gonna
That happened on its own.
I like poached eggs.
You mean like
Fresh
egg fell out of a tree and the sun got to it and that's as far as we got on the cooking. Kind of.
no, not over easy eggs, poached eggs where they're boiled like where they're like slightly boiled but they still have the runny yolk. So when you put it like on pasta, the yolk is just like going over the
Wow.
pasta.
Who does that to their pasta? People do that to the
Yes,
pasta?
they
Yes.
do.
You cannot do that to the pasta.
Yes, it's good. It's good. Well, that's all I have for open topics. Do either of you have anything for open topics?
I do. And hopefully we brought a smile to somebody. But this is a very emotional time for a lot of people this time of year.
Yes.
So I just wanted to remind folks of the National Hotline for Mental Health. If
Oh
you
yeah.
need to talk to somebody,
Yes.
reach
Yes.
out to the people around you. There are people that you can talk to, but some people really just don't have anyone or don't feel comfortable with. So you can dial 988, just 3 digits, 988. And there's going to be somebody on the other side of that line. And then also, if you need help as far as food, housing, assistance with your bills, childcare, or other essential services for your home and your family, you can dial 211. These are national numbers. So for mental health, it's 988. And then for general assistance for essential services for your household, it's 211. So um, don't be shy. If you need help, reach out. Don't hold it inside.
Yeah.
Love you. That is
Thank
all.
you. Thank you for sharing that, Auntie Tanisha. Auntie Marva.
For open topics, I want everybody to just enjoy themselves and remember this holiday season, don't pay attention to those ads. They'll get you down. Who cares about those ads?
Right.
They create them to try to make you spend money and make you feel like that's what you need to enjoy your life. You don't. We don't need it because we can be pimps to the day we die and it won't cost us a thing.
That is true.
Mhm.
That is true.
Explain that because some people might not understand what it means to be a pimp.
So when I speak on being a pimp, I'm not talking about actually trying to sell anybody. I think pimp, therefore I am pimp. So that means I have gotten to a place in life where no one can take advantage of me. No one is trying to run game on me. And I am in charge of my own thoughts, mind, and action. So therefore I thrive in a better place. And you can too. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel. No, I'm just
Subscribe to my channel, How to Be a Pimp.
It's but but no. But no, it's you. It I could, and I say that laughingly, but I don't hide it. I was very, very, very gullible for a very long time, early on in life. That was years ago, but it don't negate the fact that it didn't happen, and I'm just very grateful that I finally learned just how to be strong and how to set my boundaries and how to be firm about what I want, what I don't want, what I can tolerate, what I'm not going to put up with, things of that nature. So therefore, to me, that translates into, the pimp mind. That's a
Right.
pimp mind. So yeah, pimping, pimping, pimping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, and for those who live far from their families or on the outs with their families, look to your friends and spend the day with friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I I I have friendlies, friend families. I call them friendlies. I have lots of friendlies that I can spend time with and laugh with, you know. And everyone should have someone in their lives that they could just call no matter what time of day, and that person will and someone will be there. I have a person like that in my life. Stop singing that because we don't have
Oh.
copyrights monies. That's coming out your portion of the budget that we don't have.
My bad.
So, but yeah, and if you don't have friends, um, you know, there are organizations that you can look to that are available for people who are alone for the holidays. Well, ladies, that is the end of our show. It's always sad when we come to the end. I know I say that every episode, don't I? Because it's so true. It's so sad. I want to wish everyone a wonderful and blessed holiday, no matter which one you celebrate or don't celebrate. Enjoy it and have a joyous time. Be safe. We love you and we will see everyone next month. Until then, peace, everyone.
Peace,
Peace and love.
everybody.